In a world where naval power dictates global influence, the Royal Australian Navy is quietly rising to become one of the most advanced forces in the Indo-Pacific. But despite its small fleet, Australia's military might and alliances could give even the most advanced armies in the region a real shock. Stay tuned as we dive into how Australia is building a future navy that could reshape the balance of power, and why, despite the odds, it could still defeat even the toughest naval forces out there. Let's start with where the Royal Australian Navy stands right now. With a fleet of 44 commissioned warships, it's not the largest naval force in the world by any means, but it's not just about numbers. It's about cutting-edge technology and powerful alliances. The RAN boasts 3 air warfare destroyers, Hobart-class, 8 frigates, Anzac-class, and 6 submarines, Collins-class. But what's about to happen next could turn this into one of the most formidable fleets in the Indo-Pacific. Perhaps the most game-changing move for Australia is the AUKUS pact with the United States and the United Kingdom, bringing nuclear-powered submarines to Australian shores. These submarines are more stealthy, faster, and capable of staying submerged for months. This will allow Australia to conduct covert operations deep within enemy waters, particularly against China's growing fleet in the South China Sea. And here's where the controversy begins. Many argue that this gives Australia an upper hand, even against China's rapidly growing naval power. While China has an impressive number of submarines, over 79, the reality is that many of China's vessels are aging, and despite their numbers, they still struggle with stealth and endurance compared to nuclear-powered subs. Australia's future AUKUS submarines will dominate the region in subsurface warfare. And here's the controversial claim. Despite China's sheer numbers, Australia's nuclear-powered fleet could hold its ground in a conflict. But could China risk engaging Australia with the US and UK backing them? Let's explore that. But it's not just submarines. Australia is also investing in next-gen warships. The Hunter-class frigates, equipped with Aegis combat systems and Tomahawk cruise missiles, are designed for anti-submarine warfare and long-range strikes. These ships will make Australia's fleet a major threat not only to regional adversaries, but to any country that dares to challenge its sovereignty. Here's where things get really interesting. Despite China's impressive aircraft carriers and massive destroyer fleets, the Australian Hunter-class frigates will have superior missile defense, better stealth capabilities, and far more precision. The question is, will China's overwhelming fleet really be enough if Australia can strike first with missiles from its frigates? For the first time in history, Australia is acquiring Tomahawk missiles, a long-range strike weapon capable of hitting targets up to 1,500 kilometers away. This means Australia can launch devastating attacks deep into enemy territory without ever having to get too close. In the case of China, that means potential strikes at military bases and naval fleets far beyond Australian waters. This is the controversial part. Despite China's massive fleet, Australia's nuclear subs and Tomahawk missiles can hit targets deep inside Chinese territory, far from the safety of home. This means that in a full-scale conflict, Australia could make the first strike. Is this enough to make China rethink its aggressive stance in the South China Sea? But it's not just missiles and warships. Australia is also leading the charge with artificial intelligence and unmanned warfare. From autonomous submarines to AI-assisted strike systems, the Royal Australian Navy is becoming increasingly reliant on next-gen technology. These systems will provide Australia with greater situational awareness, faster reaction times, and more efficient combat strategies. Now here's a kicker. China may have the numbers, but they're lagging behind when it comes to AI and unmanned systems. While Australia's Royal Australian Navy invests heavily in these technologies, China is still playing catch-up. This technological gap could be just enough for Australia to hold its own, even if outgunned. Geopolitically, Australia is perfectly positioned in the Indo-Pacific to exert pressure on China and ensure stability in the region. Its strong military alliances with the United States, United Kingdom, and Japan give it a global reach, making it a formidable player despite its smaller size. Australia's participation in military alliances like AUKUS and the Quad allows it to train alongside global superpowers and benefit from cutting-edge intelligence. This makes Australia not just a regional naval force, but a significant player in global security. So, despite being smaller than other global navies like China's or the United States, Australia's naval modernization, cutting-edge technology, and powerful alliances are pushing it to the forefront of naval warfare. But the real question is, can the world's most advanced military powers be challenged by a smaller fleet with superior technology and strategic positioning? The Royal Australian Navy is ready to take on any adversary that threatens the Indo-Pacific, and it may be time for countries like China to rethink their naval dominance. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Australia's growing power can really challenge China's fleet? Or is this all just a fantasy? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more updates on global military power.